Formula One is the ultimate high-pressure sport. The cars operate under incredible amounts of pressures and forces. The teams operate under immense pressure to execute the perfect strategy and pit stops, and the drivers are under immense pressure to perform. If you cannot perform, you will lose your seat. Unless your billionaire dad owns a team, of course. Then you can do what you want and ram off whoever you feel like ramming off. Anyway, today I'm going to be giving out my list for the top 5 drivers under pressure to perform in 2023. Stick around, hit the like button and subscribe for more F1 content on my channel. Also, down below in the comments, let me know who is in your list for the top 5 drivers under pressure to perform in 2023. In 5th place, I've gone for Alex Albon. Now, I know what you might be thinking, hang on a minute. How can this guy be under pressure? He absolutely blew Nicholas Latifi away last year, and whilst, yeah, that's true, Latifi did not exactly have the reputation of being a driver who really deserved to be there, and if he did not blow Latifi away, then questions would have had to have been asked about Albon. Next year though, things are a little bit different for Alex. Last year, he had the backing of the Red Bull family to help him get his seat at Williams, but for 2023, he is no longer under any Red Bull employment, meaning that any money that may have been exchanged in the past between Williams and Red Bull will no longer be happening, and he is on his own. Not only that, but he is 26, and therefore he is reaching that stage that a driver reaches where they go into their prime years, and he will be performing at his highest possible level. Therefore, he really does have to beat his rookie teammate Logan Sargent. Logan had an impressive rookie year in Formula 2, finishing in 4th place, and he is highly regarded in the paddock as a potential star of the future. And well, last time Albon was partnered with a star of the future, it didn't really end well for him. Not only this, but Williams will now be relying on Alex Albon to lead the team forward in development, and he will be the number 1 driver in the team. Will he be able to step up to the plate and deliver what is required? I really do hope he will, but the pressure is going to be quite high on him. In 4th place, I've gone for Zhou Guanyu. Now, as I mentioned in my video where I ranked my top 5 worst drivers of 2022, I did rank Zhou Guanyu on that list. But, as I said in that video, he didn't particularly have a bad rookie season in F1. However, I do truly believe that in 2023, he will be under an increased amount of pressure. No longer is Zhou a rookie, and therefore he will have to step up to the plate and bring home more results for the Alfa Romeo team. In qualifying, Bottas beat him 14 to 8th. Now, Zhou did improve in the second half of the year, but it was still too often where he was out in Q1, whereas Bottas was through to Q2 or even maybe Q3. In the races, Bottas was ahead of Zhou for 79% of all laps completed according to race fans, and Bottas scored 89% of the points for the team. This cannot continue, especially when you consider that the future of this team, they are going to be changing from Alfa Romeo to Audi in the near future, and going from a customer team to a work team, which naturally brings increased pressure and expectations. Not only this, but you have to look at the young rookie driver that Alfa Romeo has waiting in the wings, and that is of course the French driver, Théo Pourchaire. Théo is a driver who is highly regarded as a fantastic young driver with a boatload of potential. He had a great record in F3 and F2, meaning that if Zhou has another below average season, then the pressure may be turned up just a little bit too far for him, and he could lose his seat to Théo Pourchaire for 2024. Next up in 3rd place, I've gone for Pierre Gasly. Now, this might be a bit of a surprise to some people, and I know a lot of people actually believe his teammate Esteban Ocon is going to be the one under increased pressure, but I myself have gone for Gasly. And why is that? Well, the reason I think Gasly is under more pressure is in some ways similar to Albon. He is no longer in the Red Bull family and really does have to fend for himself. This is also a move up the grid for him and into a works team, which always brings with it more pressure. In AlphaTauri, he really had it somewhat easy. He was clearly the better driver against his teammate Yuki Tsunoda, and he was being moved back into the B team after a dreadful run in Red Bull in 2019. The pressure was off and he could refocus on the driving, and he did that really well. But now, Alpine are aiming for a top 4 finish in the Constructors, therefore he will really have to step up his game to another level in 2023. Not only that, but in 2022, he did have a bit of a below par season, but it's hard to say if that was down to the car or the drivers being the reason for that, although it was Gasly's fault that he got as many penalty points as he did. Not only this, but arguably now Alpine is very much Ocon's team, and Gasly has to make it his team alongside Ocon. Given that the cars are not changing much for 2023, this will naturally give Ocon a slight advantage early on in the season, and Gasly will have to overcome this. But will he be able to do that? Personally, I'm not 100% sure if he will be able to. I just can't help but think back to when he was in Red Bull, and he really did flounder in that team. He really struggled to adapt and get on with being in a top car as a car that's at the sharper end of the grid. Now, Alpine's not exactly at the sharp end of the grid, but they will be a bit further up the grid compared to what he has been used to in the AlphaTauri. And as I said before, with it being a works team, it naturally brings more pressure. I do hope that with Gasly having those extra years in AlphaTauri now, he will be able to deal with the pressure. But will he be able to? We're only going to have to wait and find out until next season. And speaking of AlphaTauri and his former team, in second place I've gone for his former teammate, Yuki Tsunoda. This will be his third season in F1 and his third season in the Red Bull Junior team, AlphaTauri, and to be honest, his first two seasons have been pretty underwhelming. But now he has gone from the second driver to the lead driver, and given he struggled as a second driver, I do think it will be very difficult for him to step up to being a top driver and the lead driver in the team. The Red Bull system is a brutal system, but it is a proven system that works very well, and for Yuki, this year he really does need to step his game up. Otherwise, I think they will be looking to move him out of that seat for 2024. The Red Bull program has 3 drivers in F2 confirmed to 2023 and a potential 2 other drivers. On top of that, there is Liam Lawson, who is waiting in the wings, and he will be competing in the Super Formula as well, meaning that there are potentially 6 drivers all in position to take Tsunoda's place should he have a third underwhelming season in a row. Not only this, but he is being paired with Nick de Vries, who has left the Mercedes family, and it has to be said that I am pretty sure that Helmut Marko will not want one of his drivers to be beaten by a perceived outsider like de Vries. And of course, should he not perform, there's always that potential risk that they could replace Yuki Tsunoda with Daniel Ricciardo now that Ricciardo himself is also back in the Red Bull family. Now, I don't think that will happen because I don't think Ricciardo will go back to AlphaTauri, but you never know. Stranger things have happened in F1. So for me, Yuki Tsunoda is very much under pressure going into 2023. And finally, we have the driver who is most under pressure to perform in 2023. And for me, this is Sergio Perez in the Red Bull. Now, Sergio did have a much stronger 2022 campaign when compared to his 2021 campaign, which is a positive, but being teammates with Max Verstappen is always a high pressure situation. Max, much like Lewis Hamilton, is a driver that can put their teammate under incredible amounts of pressure just by being there. Their presence itself is daunting because of how good they are. Not only this, but whilst yes, Perez did have a better 2022, he still did not beat Charles Leclerc. And that is despite the Red Bull car being, by the end of the year, much faster when compared to the Ferrari. And with Mercedes looking like they can potentially compete with Red Bull over a full season in 2023, then Red Bull will need Sergio Perez to find another gear yet again. Otherwise, they may lose the Constructors' Championship that they literally just won this year, especially if Ferrari can find some more pace as well. Max will struggle against 2 Mercedes and 2 Ferraris if Perez does not step up to the plate. Not only this, but there is always the sense and feeling that his seat could be under threat from Daniel Ricciardo. Provided that, of course, Ricciardo himself does find some pace and performance in the simulator, as well as some motivation. If Perez does have a poor start though, I do believe his seat could be under threat, and you never know, we might just get that Aussie somehow back in the sport. But that is what I think. The question is though, what do you think? Who is in your list for top 5 drivers under pressure? Let me know down below in the comments. I read and respond to pretty much every single comment. And of course, as always, comment, leave a like, and subscribe for more F1 content. Thank you all so much for watching. Have a great Christmas and a great New Year. I can't wait to see you all in 2023 because I've got a lot of content to bring you guys' way.